Did you ever wonder if you can handle a big landscape with your garden, like an acre or an acre and a half? Well, here is an example of a beautiful, large, bigger than life garden / landscape in Brentwood, Tennessee. And we're going to talk today to Hardy and Joanne Hawk, because this is their home and has been for the last 20 years. And this garden has been a labor of love. Joanne, tell us a little bit about how you got started in gardening.
Well, being from Florida, we were into tropicals, right? So when we moved up here, we had to change direction completely. You cannot have tropicals in Tennessee. So I didn't know anything about, I always loved the idea of having hydrangeas. I just loved hydrangeas, never could have them in Florida. I loved iris. I loved all the things that you can find in Tennessee that grow wild practically. So when I came up here, I started studying. And I got Judy Lowe's book at first and asked questions. We went to the garden shows at the fairgrounds every year. And every year they gave away free trees. So we got 2 poplar trees from them. Planted one in the front, one in the back. So that was the start. I pick seeds everywhere. I do anywhere I go. If I see a little flower that I don't have.
Now, Hardy, you have an extensive gardening background, right? But it's not quite in flowers.
No.
It was in what?
Well, trees, bushes, shrubs.
Yeah.
But being from Jersey, you studied mostly what?
Well, that's a misnomer. I know it's the garden state and
Well,
all that,
yeah.
but we were city dwellers. Now, we had a country home in Saddle River, which is where what president?
Nixon
had a home
had a
there.
home eventually. They developed all that area.
So my grandparents, who came from Germany and Poland, and they did all their gardening.
Oh yeah.
They did everything from fruit, vegetables. They never went to the store. They grew everything their own, and of course that's where we learned.
Okay, so here we are at the beautiful, this looks like you've added a pollinator garden to, and I see a bee flying around.
Oh my gosh, yes. The bees love it. They do. The coneflowers. Yeah.
You've got purple coneflower and looks like a blanket flower,
And there's some cleomes coming up.
And some sedum for the fall,
yes,
which is great,
sedums.
And a lovely oak leaf hydrangea back there in the background.
Yeah.
So it's really popping right now.
Yeah.
And our flowers are also geared to the wildlife we have. But I noticed starting a couple days ago, goldfinches
The
came
goldfinches
out.
come
Really?
in now. They're
And
starting
they
to
were
feed.
on the flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, and you on this tree, you get what?
Well, we were scared about it when we first moved
Yeah.
in. We had an arborist come out and look at it to make sure it was good. And then he put a sling at the top where there were 2 forked branches,
Yeah.
and he put a sling up there for us. And so we feel pretty safe.
Do you get woodpeckers?
Oh my gosh, yes.
When you live on a slope, and this looks like about a 40%, it's important to think about erosion control. And here they clearly have. This is a wonderful native grass.
It is.
It is called river oats. It's a chasmanthium. And not only is it great, the roots go down so deep, but also in the fall, it makes a lovely cut plant. The seed heads do for flower arrangements, and it's also the host plant for several of our butterfly species. So you have chosen well, Joanne, in your choice of plants for erosion control.
We already have the anemones creeping up. Those anemones, they're going to fill up eventually. They'll come up and fill up, but we'll probably move some of those hostas also and try to fill in that whole area little by little.
This is another sloped area in their large backyard, and the limestone rock is sort of the bedrock of this and the focal point really of this whole area. This was not only here, but it extended over to the side. And they thought about doing a waterfall, but Joanne has said she doesn't want to mess with the naturalness of it, and I agree. I think it looks beautiful as it is.
Right.
We've got ferns over here. We've got a beautiful hydrangea, which forms a really great shrubbery understory to the large trees that are here. And then you've got a yucca plant, and you come down here finally for more erosion control with a large bed of hellebores. And I bet this is a picture when they're blooming.
Yes,
Absolutely.
in February. They're all amazing that they survived. They died off in the winter, which they've never done before. But this winter was so bad that they died to brown, but they came up. They came up all overnight. And then we had our flowers, the Lenten roses, as they're called.
So Hardy and Joanne, you've got this beautiful sugar maple tree, which I'm sure is a picture in the fall, and you can see it from your porch.
It was a volunteer too.
A volunteer.
It was a volunteer.
The understory here is, as we said, the hellebore, and it will grow right under these trees because it can take some shade.
Right.
And then you have a gorgeous dogwood,
The dogwood.
which just gets enough shade to keep it really healthy. You've got more purple coneflower here with a bee on it, which is amazing.
Yes.
And there goes a moth in there too.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and coming on around the corner, you've got more hydrangea, and I love seeing your beautiful wild bergamot, your monarda here.
Yeah.
A great pollinator plant for the garden. So you've just done a fantastic job of bringing your pollinator plants all around the mixing it in with your landscape. It's just beautiful. Hardy, this is overwhelming to me even, and I can't believe that you can take care of all of this by yourselves. Do you have any help out here?
No, just recently I've started one of my grandsons. Every Saturday he comes and he does some of the labor stuff that I can't do anymore. I just can't bend over that much anymore.
But you're passing on the legacy to him, so that's a cool thing.
Yeah, he wants to do this forever.
Wonderful.
He's got a regular job with Vanderbilt Health, but he wants this Saturdays.
Okay.
He enjoys it.
Well, it's just fabulous. And not only have you covered the whole yard, but everything, the borders are so wide. And I love the rock that you've used here. Tell me where the rock came from.
Well, the rock was mostly mined, so to speak, when they built the house. This is all most of it is limestone.
Yeah.
There's a few things that came from somewhere else, but not really that much, some fill-ins.
Hardy, I bet you have 1/10 of a mile in these rock borders that you put down yourself. How did you do it?
All by hand.
All by hand.
And a wheelbarrow. You'll notice that we've moved it in. They were out here. And we had so much wild growth, I decided to move them in. So we had moved them all back in a couple feet.
Well, I like the curvature.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. We tried to keep that.
It's a great design. You've got a beautiful magnolia here with signs of a yellow-bellied sapsucker going around the trunk. That's really cool. And your Rose of Sharon is blooming. You've got great overstory trees, wonderful layering here. It's just amazing where you have the big trees, then the understories, and then finally the
the trees were the first thing we planted in here when we moved here.
Joanne, I love the way you and Hardy have provided these low understory trees, such as this eastern redbud, for a little bit of shade in the garden, because every gardener needs a little spot of shade.
Absolutely.
This is a fabulous shrub too. It's a 9-bark, which is also a native plant. It provides a lot of early nectar for our pollinators. And this goes right out into the sunlight again, where you've provided a lot of the plants that are in other areas. And it's just a wonderful design. Did you design this yourself?
It's happenstance. We started with a pure vegetable garden, and after a few years we knew it was much too much work, and we thought, well, let's fill it in. And we had separate gardens, so we combined everything and made it just a mixture.
Okay,
just a little
that's
bit of
fabulous.
everything.
And I love the fennel you've got over there. A lot of times people don't think about the herbs for pollinators, but that happens to be a host plant for the black swallowtail. So
Really?
beautiful, and not only do they provide some host plants, but flowers as well.
Well, we have some blueberry bushes here that we love to feed the birds with because we normally don't get a chance to harvest too many. But we did have a great bumper year a year or two ago, but that was the only year that we really were able to harvest any. There were so many blueberries that the birds couldn't eat them all, so that's okay.
Well, Joanne and Hardy, I just want to thank you so much for letting us come to your beautiful home and garden
You're
today.
welcome.
It is stupendous. I still don't know your secret of how you take care of all this and do such a wonderful job, but it's glorious. So thank you both
You're
for
so
inviting us
welcome.
in.
You're so
we really
welcome.
appreciate it.
We enjoyed it. I mean, it's so much fun working in the dirt, right? It's fun working in the dirt. Yes.
Every
Love
other
it.
day.
Every other day.
Yeah. We have to have a day to recoup.
I hear you. If you love gardening as much as I do, you'll want to subscribe to this channel. We showcase not only gardens, but gardeners as well, and the joy that the two of those meshed together can bring.